On Gun Family, Urban Gun Reviews, and today on the channel, we're on Friends with Guns. This episode, we got Black Diamond Guns and Gear. So I appreciate you fellas for coming on. If you're not following them on IG, subscribe to their YouTube and all of that stuff. Make sure that you do it. I'll leave a link and everything in the description. But again, what's going on, fellas?
What's up? Thanks for having us on, man. We like seeing your stuff.
Thanks for coming on, for real. I like all the stuff y'all do, all the content. Y'all be putting on some nice shit, so appreciate it.
Thanks. Not everybody. Everybody's like, oh, wow, these guys are putting out another video.
Yeah, I know that.
I like the more the merrier, you know what I mean? So I appreciate it. So I'm gonna ask y'all the first question that I ask everybody, and that's where are you guys from?
Knoxville, Tennessee.
Yep, okay. Knoxville, Tennessee.
Born and raised?
I wasn't. They were, I think, right?
Yep, I've been here my whole life.
I was born in Chattanooga, but I was basically raised in Knoxville, Maryville area.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was born in Pikeville, Kentucky. Okay. And moved around a little bit, but I've been here for 20 years though. So.
Yeah. That's dope. How do you guys know each other? Like how long you know each other, and how'd you guys end up meeting?
Mutual friends, all of us, really.
Yeah.
But I've known Brandon longer than I've known Josh. But me and Brandon, I don't know, you were in high school when I first met you.
Yeah. Played music
and all that stuff around the same people. Like we've played music for 20 plus years. And then just guns really is how we met Josh through mutual friends about guns and stuff.
I actually met Josh because I was friends with his wife in high school, and then we were having a party at my house, and Josh came, and I think that's actually might be where you met him too.
Yeah.
So I think we both met him at the same time.
Yep. Okay. She was like, "Oh, hey, my Josh is into guns too," and I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." So we just met and hung out and kind of just kicked it off right there.
Yeah.
Nice. What got you guys in firearms?
Y'all want to take it?
I know that everybody says, that I've grown up around them and stuff like that, and I kind of did. I had guns growing up and stuff, but nothing like I'm prior service military. I was stationed overseas in Iraq, and that's what got me into guns.
Okay.
Was we found a bunch of weapons caches and got a bunch of old machine guns and stuff, and I'm like, this is dope. Like getting to shoot like legit, weapons of war is just, to me. I got home and I've never been able to chase that dream yet. So that's what got me into them.
Yeah. You want to
go? Actually, I honestly haven't been into firearms for that long. Like with Josh, I grew up around firearms. I always shot and stuff when I was a kid, but never like dove into it as much as I have now.
Yeah.
And I've only done that in the past probably 3-4 years.
Okay.
My grandfather he was big into self-defense. He was big into basically always carrying a weapon to protect yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would kind of instilled that when I was younger. I always seen him carrying one. The funny thing was I've always seen him carry like a 1911 like in his pants without a holster. And now thinking back at it, I'm just like, man, he probably should have had a holster on. but I always saw that, and I've always seen like 1911s, stuff like that, shotguns, that kind of thing. I have a few of his actually too. So that kind of got me into it right there. I mean, basically just seeing it from a young age all the way up. And we were fortunate enough to live in an area where you kind of have the area that you can shoot, in your backyard kind of thing, and not have to worry about going to a gun range or whatnot because you have the the area to do it. So that was kind of my story, and I've kind of been into it ever since. Got my first handgun when I was like 23 or something like that.
Okay.
And, it's kind of been downhill ever since, to be honest with you.
What made you get your first handgun? Like, what was you just wanted to get one?
Yeah, basically I was old enough to get it, so I was like, I carried it with I think my first handgun was a Smith & Wesson Sigma 40 caliber, okay. And so I carried that thing in a Blackhawk on the outside of my pants. We have a video.
Oh, yeah, we have a picture of that too.
We were out at Pigeon Forge. me and Brandon and a couple other guys, we were in it, took this picture at a Ferris wheel or whatever. You could see my Sigma 40 on my freaking side in a Black Hawk holster, looking like a douche. But yeah, I just wanted something to protect myself. You know, I was old enough to get one, so I was you know, that's just all about getting one. Couldn't afford one for the longest time.
Yeah.
Reason why I went with a Sigma.
Yeah.
It was like $380 or whatever it was. And then after that, I've always loved Glocks. I've always loved the look of them ever since I've watched, like, what's that movie? Oh, U.S. Marshals. Have always loved Glocks ever since I've seen that movie.
It's one of my favorite movies. Love that
Yeah,
movie.
man. When he's talking about, getting that Glocks and get rid of that, nickel-plated sissy pistol, like that whole scene is just like, that's a holy grail scene.
Yeah.
And I just like the squareness of them. I like the blockiness of Glocks.
Yeah.
So that's just been my thing.
When I was younger, I used to think Glocks was like the most expensive guns ever. I was like, man, I can't afford a Glock. Like, and then after I started getting into guns, I'm like, shit, if I could pay $500 for a gun, I'm good to go.
Yeah.
Like, that's a go.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm. That's what I've always heard is like the Glock tax or whatever. That's what my dad always used to say, and I'm just like, just as much as anything else.
basically, yeah. I think my first Glock I ever bought was a Glock 22, and it was like a trade-in, like a police trade-in. And I got it for like I think I actually paid it overpriced for it. But I bought it from a guy. He was a retired sheriff, basically, and it was like $550 or something like that. Like, it wasn't bad, but now you can go to the store and buy them for $350. But yeah, that was my first like handgun that I bought myself. Like the other one came from like my dad, giving me birthday money, that kind of thing. The one I actually bought myself was a Glock 22.
Nice. Josh, number 2. What was your first gun?
My first handgun was a Springfield XD 9mm compact.
Ooh, yeah.
Which it wasn't a bad firearm, and it actually I was kind of looking at them. I always liked Springfield. I always liked things that Springfield did. This was in the early 2000s when they came out with the XD, and I was like, you know what? It's not a bad firearm. Now I look at them and I'm like, they're okay. This was before the grip zone, but it's not a bad pistol, And I think that I probably carried it in probably Uncle Mike's or something like that. Back in the day, I'm like, man, I'm surprised I didn't shoot myself in the thigh or something.
Well, after carrying it in a Black Hawk holster, I then transitioned to Uncle Mike's holster on the inside of the waist. But after I'd carried it in my pants without a holster.
Bad life choices.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think about how many times like I literally shoved that thing in my pants, and it was a Sigma, and I was just like, man, yeah, glad I didn't do nothing I regretted.
Yeah.
So, what made you guys start to create content?
Oh man, well, I started a holster company back in the day, and that's where the fat guy came from, basically. I wasn't able to find any companies that were making holsters like I wanted that were would fit me, because I wanted to carry appendix.
Yeah.
After I found out what Kydex was, basically. And I made holsters, and I dabbled in like appendix carry holsters and stuff like that. And after I met Josh, what were you carrying?
I was carrying a Glock 19 Gen 3 in a Blade Tech holster.
Yeah, Blade Tech, yeah.
So, and you know what? It is what it is. Back then, I didn't have a whole lot of money. I bought it. I made it work. It did what it needed to be.
I mean, it was probably better than an Uncle Mike's holster.
That it was.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like the best carry option that I could have bought.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just what, the store had. That's what I chose to carry with. So Josh was like, you know what, man? I'm making holsters. Let me make you a holster.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, yeah, let's check it out. So he basically took his design, and that's the thing is, like, I tell everybody all the time, just because it says fat guy on the holster doesn't mean that it's just for fat guys.
Yeah.
Skinny people can wear them too, and I can wear it just as good as anybody else. So he made me one of the original fat guy holsters, and I still have it to this day over here on my shelf, and I still carry it, every now and again.
Yeah.
Because it's a comfortable holster.
Yeah. And
but that was the thing, was he was making me this holster in his garage.
yeah, this is a big ass garage.
It was a big ass garage.
It was like 30 by 31. Like, it was a big ass garage.
That was our studio for a while.
Yeah.
But he was like, talking to me about guns, and we both were into guns, and I was like, man, you ever thought about doing YouTube content? And he's like, yeah, all the damn time. So we kind of filmed a couple of videos on cell phone in his garage, and they are terrible.
I've seen the first one that we did the other day. It popped up on my memories, and it was it happened like 4 years ago or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw the first one that we did. It was so funny to me to watch us back when we had no idea,
because we were awkward.
Oh man, so awkward. But yeah, it's very, very weird. It wasn't even the first one, like the one that we recorded about the PT-111.
Yeah,
this was one where we were talking about our EDC stuff when we were just trying to figure out how it was going to go.
Yeah,
and it was so bad.
I carry a pen in my pocket.
Yeah, yeah, it was bad. But yeah, after that, he was just like, "You want to start doing YouTube?" So because of that, like I talked about us playing music and stuff. So playing music, you kind of get in the music world. I don't know if know anything about it, but basically, it's like you put all your creativity into this, and you're trying to make it per se, right? Mm-hmm. And once I realized that, like, that wasn't happening for me, I was, probably 26, 27 years old. I was like, I'm done. I ain't doing this. So I took, all the creativity that I had with playing music and putting shows on, and having backdrops for shows and lights and all this other shit. I took all that creativity and put it toward making a YouTube studio. So that's what we did in my garage. We created this whole studio, and I bought lights for it, and we did all this stuff to make it look like it was professional. Because you gotta fake it till you make it, pretty much.
Yeah. What kind of music did you guys play?
Regular like rock stuff, heavy stuff, that kind of stuff like that.
Okay.
Just a bunch of different things, really. I've played in metal bands. I've played in radio rock bands. You've done other stuff, right?
Yeah, I'm punk and hardcore. I was in a rockabilly band for a little bit.
Oh yeah, I did rockabilly a little bit. But yeah, just different stuff, and it's just I don't know, just kind of went from one thing to the other, and it was just able to transition well because, like I said, faking it till you make it kind of thing, making it look like it's expensive, making it look like it's professional on the other side, and then when people see that through a camera. And they can't see all the other shit that's around you. Like, if you're in your garage or whatever, people are seeing just this picture that you're creating for them. And it seemed to work out pretty well for us. So
yeah,
it just kind of went from there.
Nice.
And hell, we're still doing it.
Yeah, basically. Like if you were to turn the camera around where we're at right now, dude, there's a lot of stuff in here janky. I see a pole over here. It's an old camera holder that has a microphone stand on it that's duct taped.
It's painter's tape. It's not even duct tape.
Yeah, to hold the microphone. Like, it's janky.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
You gotta get it how you live. I ain't mad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you guys have any type of firearms training?
Yeah, been to a couple classes and stuff like that. Yeah. We did. I've done. Well, Josh is prior service military, but I've done like the permanent classes and stuff like that, and then we've been to Jaeger.
Yeah, we went to James Jaeger's class, tactical response.
Yeah, that was fun, dude.
Yeah.
There was a couple of companies here that been a part of T3 Concepts. They did pistol, shotgun, rifle. So I've done all those, that kind of stuff. So finding stuff in the area where people were. The thing is, when you're finding a training company or whatever, you got to do your research. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if they're not teaching the way you want to be taught, basically, like, we love the way that Jaeger's like teaching methods are. We just identify with them as far as like how he teaches you to manipulate pistols and stuff like that. Like, we just agree with that, so that's the reason why we like it so much.
Yeah,
I mean, there's tons of people out there.
Yeah.
There's tons of big people out there, like Carry Trainer. I like some of his stuff that he says because it's very practical, but there's some stuff I don't agree with. Like he's talking about how to seat your pistol and do press checks and all this other shit, and I'm just like, what I've been taught. So I don't like it, but there's tons of freaking people out there to go get classes from.
Okay. When it comes to motivation, what's a motivating factor for you guys doing YouTube?
Oh man, that's a good question.
It's just fun.
Yeah,
That's like all the motivation I need. I have a blast doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the big thing about it is we were gonna do this, you know, we were gonna hang out, and we were gonna shoot guns, and we were gonna do the same stuff we already do. Anyways,
Yeah.
so why not film it? Why not?
Yeah.
Because I mean that's it. I mean on Saturdays, I mean even even when we're not filming, we're still doing the same stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
If we're not filming, we're still going to gun shops and looking around and looking at stuff, seeing what we can find. Yeah. So even when we don't have a camera on us, we're still hanging out doing that.
Yeah.
We're just documenting crap we do every day.
Yeah, basically.
That's dope. Because it makes for a better organic, probably feeling too, that you guys just hang out naturally. You know what I mean? So when you get behind the camera, in front of a camera, it just flows more. So that's dope.
Yeah.
I would say that. Now when we started out, we wanted to do stuff like. Well, I think we still do it, but it's more we're more to the point now and less like skit form.
Yeah.
But we wanted to do like funny stuff. That's what we
Yeah.
wanted to do. There's really nobody out there doing it. There was a couple people at the time, like Demolition Ranch kind of does some funny intros and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, Johnny was doing like Gun Drama Johnny. He was doing that. And so that was funny, but he doesn't do that anymore. He just does like all political stuff now. So we wanted to do like funny skit things with our videos. And that's how we started out doing them. And they were pretty good.
Yeah.
But now we're kind of more like to the point, just showing you what's going on. But I think we should get back to the skit stuff, to be honest with you.
Because a lot of people like it, to be honest with you. I mean, if you can make somebody laugh, you've got their attention.
Yeah, definitely. Can you guys take me through the process of like getting a CCW in Tennessee?
Oh, yeah. There isn't one anymore.
Yeah.
Just strap it on and go to town.
But now there was, and you had to go through an 8-hour course, I think is what it was, right?
Yep. So it was it could have been 2 4-hour courses or 1 8-hour course, and it had to be with a licensed concealed carry weapons permit trainer.
Yeah.
And basically they would go through, like I said, either an 8-hour block or 2 4-hour blocks. You go through classroom time, then you go qualify with your pistol. If you can qualify with your pistol, and you also have a written test, if you pass all that, they give you a certificate. You take it to the DMV.
Yeah.
Once the DMV takes it, what was it, like $150?
Yeah. No. Yeah. Maybe the first one was, yeah.
Yeah, I think the first one was $150 to do all the paperwork, and then they send you a concealed carry weapons permit in the mail.
Yeah. I think with the course, you had to hit like 48 rounds out of 50 on a target, basically.
Yeah.
On a paper target silhouette, and it didn't even have to be like.
I think it's at like what 7 yards or something like that.
It didn't even have to be center mass. It could literally be inside the black target of the silhouette, and that's it. So pretty simple, but but now Tennessee is a constitutional carry state, so you don't have to have a permit.
Nice. What you guys carrying every day for EDC?
Y'all want to go?
Gen 3 Glock 19.
Nice.
What do you carry?
Shadow Systems MR 920.
Yeah, I carry. I bounce back and forth between a 43X, Glock 43X, and a Glock 26.
Glock 26. Okay.
In a fat guy holster, of course.
Of course. You guys have any shit hit the fan guns?
Oh yeah. How many is the question? Let's see, man. That's a good question too.
Define shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. Is like, are we talking about just like if somebody comes up in the house, or are we talking about like
end of government?
The end of like nobody's coming to get you. That's the end.
Yeah, like that, and or zombie apocalypse.
Oh, okay.
One of those.
I would say it would definitely have to be an AR for shit hit the fan in America.
Yeah.
Because think of how many magazines are out there. How many ARs are out there in America?
Millions. Yeah.
Millions.
I'll say that. Yeah.
I
So
never
they're gonna
thought
be
of
everywhere.
that. That makes sense. I never thought of that.
I love the AK platform. But versus an AR platform where they're going to have tons of magazines and ammo around there, you can't really beat it.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. It'd probably be. I've got a handful of ARs in here, and it'd probably be one of them.
Yeah, I mean, there's several different ones that I could probably pick and just go with it. But
yeah,
definitely AR platform. If there's like 2 or 3 that I'm taking, it'd probably be, obviously a Glock 19 or something like that, or probably even a Glock 17.
Yeah,
something duty size. Then an AR, and then actually I think we did a video on this not too long ago. And then like a 22, like a Ruger 1022 takedown or something like that.
Okay, nice. What's you guys' thoughts on carry guns with safeties?
Don't do it. that's it.
Okay, so if you think about it,
not needed.
If you're talking about an external manual safety, yeah, no, I'm not about it. But a Glock has an internal safety.
They have 2.
So that's one of the most safe firearms you could actually grab a hold of.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like most, pistols nowadays that are made, they're pretty much copying Glock's design of their internals.
Yeah,
for the most part,
they
all have the dingus in the middle, and they all have the drop.
You talking about the plunger?
The plunger safety,
rotary girder.
They all have those. So there's 2 safeties in every gun. So there's really no need for a manual, because that's something you're gonna have to remember to do as soon as you pull it out of the holster. You're gonna have to remember to do that before you actually get throwing down business.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, it's not needed.
I mean, you can train for it.
Sure, but it's just an extra step.
Yeah, it's just like carrying one in the chamber.
Exactly. Brandon didn't do that for a while. Tell him about that.
No, I'm good.
I'm an idiot. I know.
That was going to be the next question, actually. What's your thoughts on keeping around in the chamber at all times?
Always.
I think it's a must. And the reason that I say that is one of my good friends, he said, if you do not carry one in the chamber, potentially you could spend the rest of your life chambering that round.
Yeah. Just meaning that,
yeah,
that's the last thing you're going to be doing.
That last step could be life or death.
Yeah.
You could spend the rest of your life.
Now we know that what is what army does that where they?
Oh, the Israelis. They actually carry what do they consider that? Condition 2.
Yeah.
So they don't have one in the chamber, but as they're drawing their firearm, they're bringing the firearm up, racking it, and bringing it up on target.
Yeah. So they carry,
but that's how they train.
And they train like that. And not saying that you can't train to do that. What I'm saying is that there's enough safeties and stuff inside your pistols on most of them that you don't need to do that. You can literally just trust the pistol if it's a good quality firearm. You could trust the pistol to know that it's not going to go off.
Yeah, definitely. Going back to the Glocks, and a lot of companies like kind of copying Glocks. What do you think about the Lone Wolf Arms LTD 9?
I haven't heard of it, actually.
I've seen some of Lone Wolf stuff. I have not seen that.
You're talking about the ones that make the barrels?
Yeah, Lone Wolf. They actually make
It's kind of like a Glock clone.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I think Opie, one of our friends that actually has a YouTube channel as well, Opie and the Smokies. I think he has one.
Really?
Yep. And
I didn't know that.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I think I actually took it to the range with him, and we actually shot it, and it was not bad. It is, like you said, it's a Glock clone. Somebody took everything from a Glock, kind of like the Polymer 80s, and they made a pistol.
Here's what I don't understand. So remember back in the day when Sigmas were made, right? When Sigmas first came out, they got sued by Glock because they were so close to being Glocks that they sued them.
Mm-hmm.
How are all these other companies? You got Palmetto State Armory that has the daggers. You got MR920s that are from Shadow Systems. You got all these other companies like Lone Wolf. All these other companies are making these pistols that are basically copies of a Glock.
So I'm not a lawyer, but I know that once you do a patent, your patent is only good for so long. So maybe when they came out with that pistol, they were within those years of that patent infringement.
Maybe, yeah.
Now I say that Glock's patent is already up, and they probably haven't renewed it or anything like that. So they're probably up, and these companies are like, shit, we're gonna reap the benefits.
Windows said, "Fuck it, let me get in there."
Yeah, so that may be the thing,
Yeah, maybe.
Would you guys consider yourself a fanboy to any gun manufacturer?
Yep. Glock.
Yeah, say it all the
I'll,
time.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of companies that I'm a huge Arsenal
There you
fan. Arsenal AKs.
Yeah.
I sleep at night thinking about them.
I would say Glock's pretty much the only one I'm a
Yeah.
fanboy of. ARs I can take them, from different companies. It doesn't matter to me.
All right. What's the best handgun caliber in you guys' opinion?
I'll answer that by saying the cheapest one that I can find and afford and get plenty of would be 9mm.
Yeah.
What is the best caliber to carry? I would say probably 10mm, maybe, just because it's massive. And now you can't find it anywhere right now,
Right.
but it's massive. If it were readily available, I would probably carry a 10mm. To be honest with you.
Okay.
I'm gonna say 9mm because of the same thing you said. But if I had, dang on, that's a good question.
Maybe 5.7, maybe.
5.7 would be cool. I really like 357 Sig. A lot of people probably are like, man, 357. It is a hot neck down 40.
Mm-hmm.
That round will. It'll do what it needs to do.
It'll do work.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Best rifle caliber in you guys' opinion?
I think it goes back to, like I said, being readily available. I want to say 5.56.
Okay.
But bigger is always most of the time usually better. I mean, so I would go 308 probably, maybe 762 by 39 is good and everything.
Yeah.
300 blackout. I would go with 5.56 because it's readily available. If it was anything else and you could get anything else at any time, I might go with 300 blackout.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Okay.
I'm gonna say 6.5 Creedmoor.
Oh, there you go.
Ooh,
Because so and the reason that I'm saying that is because everybody's making cool stuff in AR pattern rifles. 4.6.5. It's not only you can sling it close range or you can send it down range. 6.5 Creedmoor.
Yeah, there you go. I like that.
Yeah. AR-15 or AK-47 platform, just for fun, not for like any specific reason. Which one you like better?
AKs.
AK.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Shit hit the fan. AR.
Yeah.
Fun shooting stuff. AK.
Yep.
All right. What's you guys' thoughts on open carry?
Oh man, these are good questions, man.
Thank
Yeah.
Y'all go ahead.
I've seen some crappy videos of people.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's your right to do so, right?
you. Absolutely.
So with that aspect, do you, boo boo, right? But for being maybe a target or showing your hand basically to somebody,
Mm-hmm.
I would say don't do it because what people don't know that you have is you're better off. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel about it. Is I try to be, and sometimes we wear gun shirts and stuff like that, but I definitely don't want to be wearing, a gun shirt in public or whatever.
Yeah.
And not only that, open carrying a firearm because, at least if I'm wearing a gun shirt, hell, you can get a Smith & Wesson shirt from Academy
Yeah.
Sports, and I've seen 15-year-old girls wearing Smith & Wesson shirts. I know they ain't carrying no firearm.
Right.
Yeah.
So at least if I'm the gray man, I'm not open carrying. I'm not giving people I guess
That opportunity.
that opportunity to be like, man,
Yeah.
I want to be the gray man. I want to be
Just the guy that blends in and doesn't, carry any attention to himself. Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah. That's kind of like the way I felt. And then somebody broke it down to me a little differently. They was like, well, maybe you open carrying deters somebody from, trying to do something or anything like that. But I still kind of live by the thing like I'd rather be, have it concealed. And if you don't know that I have it, then I kind of got to drop on you. rather than you saying, because if I look at it like if somebody's going to rob somewhere or something like that, and I'm in there and I'm open carrying, they're going to take me out first, because I'm the immediate threat. So
if they were smart, they would do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's the way I would think about it. That's the way I do think about it.
Yeah.
But I could totally see, like, if, let's say, I kind of see people that open carry as pompous assholes. That's the way I see them.
Look what I got.
But exactly.
Timber carriers.
Yeah. So that's the way I look at it too. If they're carrying a freaking, Glock 45 or whatever on their hip, and it maybe even in like a drop down leg or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man. Like, you're just trying to show people what you got.
Yeah.
And to me, that's just not my personality. I don't want to show people what I got. I'm not boastful about it. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of that same vein. If I see somebody's doing that, that's the way I think that guy is.
Yeah. I can dig it. Any firearms that you guys would 100% recommend?
Glock 19.
Any Gen or just any Glock 19?
He's a fan of the Gen 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Gen 3. But would that be a firearm that I would recommend? I feel like there's plenty of firearms that I could recommend for a different crowd. And I say that is because not everybody can afford, if I said a Shadow Systems or, a SIG 320, the Wilson Combat, or, like certain things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of people can afford those. So, yeah, I guess in different price ranges, there's firearms that I could suggest to you. Like if you're in the, the budget, criteria, Taurus makes cool firearms for, reliable firearms for people that can't afford a whole lot. Yeah, I ain't gonna be like, yo, man, you need to go buy a high point C9. Not saying we don't. Not that we don't own one.
Yeah.
But,
not that we don't own like 5.
With that we do.
Yeah. But I would say quality firearm, Glock, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Of course, there's other ones out there. Smith & Wesson is great.
Mm-hmm.
Walther is awesome. H&K is really good. Like, there's a bunch of quality firearms out there. Is there something I would recommend somebody carry that I know that would probably be able to work with it and also probably be able to afford it? It would be a Glock, probably, right?
Yeah, or like you said, the M&Ps. I mean, sometimes you can get M&Ps.
I think they're in the same vein.
Pretty good prices. They have like their mail-in rebates and stuff like that. So yeah, the M&P too.
But dude, Taurus is stepping up their game, in my opinion. We just did a video on Taurus actually right before we got on here with you, and dude, I think they're coming out with some cool stuff. Matter of fact, they're coming out with some stuff that I wish Glock would come out with that they haven't came out with yet.
Nice. I don't mind Taurus. I got one myself, but I don't have a problem with them.
Yeah.
Nice company, definitely coming up from what they used to do. So
I'll agree with that.
What advice would you give anyone buying their first firearm?
Get training. So basically take that firearm that you're going to buy, whatever it is, and train with it, and go to a reputable company and train with it.
Yeah.
Don't listen to your cousin down the street that thinks he knows what he's doing because he's grown up around firearms. Go to an actual training course. Well, like I said, you got to do your research on them. Make sure you go to a training course that's going to be good for you, and make sure you just go train.
And that's the thing is, I used to work for a gun range, and what we would do is we would do like concealed carry permit courses, and we would also do, like one-on-one coaching stuff. And a lot of times we had a rental gun program, and what you would do is you would come in and say, hey, I want to try, this firearm or this, or whatever, and they would rent that firearm and they would use it in the course they were getting ready to take. If they weren't doing good with that firearm, we would take it back. We would give them a firearm that they chose that they thought, well, maybe this might, or whatever. So in that course, they trained with the firearm that they chose, and they had an opportunity to buy it at our shop too. So
that's cool.
It was just kind of I wish more ranges did that.
Yeah, that's actually, I haven't seen any that do it actually. But yeah, I agree with that. And I would say this too. If you're if you're looking for a firearm and you don't want to spend, and you're trying to debate whether to go for this firearm that's, an MR920 or whatever, something that's really expensive versus something that's a little bit cheaper, I would say go with something that's a little cheaper for your first one, buy a bunch of ammo, and train with the rest of that money, because you're going to need that training more than you're going to need that expensive firearm.
Yeah.
I'll agree with that.
And don't buy something that's just cool, because that's what I did. My first pistol was a Remington R1 1911.
Yeah.
I paid like almost $950 for that pistol, and it was my first pistol.
Yeah, it was like what, 45, right?
It was a 45, and I bought it just because I wanted a 1911.
Yeah. Once you
That's still
start,
cool, though.
once you start buying, guns, and you're buying them just because you like them, that's a different story.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
for
buying
sure.
them because you like them, just because you like the nostalgia of them or whatever. That's a different story. But for, like you said, your first gun, that might have been not the best one. Yeah. Unless you just like 45.
Yeah, being that you guys are around so much or so many firearms, how do you guys decide, like, what do you want to buy next?
For me, it's like just stuff that I see that I just think is cool. Like it's not, it doesn't have anything to do with like, well, some of them do. Like so a Beretta, M92 or whatever it is. It's not that it's an awesome gun or anything like that, but it's just something that I wanted because, back in the day, you're watching Die Hard, you're watching, Lethal Weapon, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just something I wanted because that gun was cool to me back in the day. So, like I said, after buying firearms, and then you're looking at, you buy stuff that you like, you buy stuff that you see that's coming out, I don't know.
That's kind of me. I mean, a lot of mine came from watching movies as a kid. You're like, you'd watch Commando or, all the Chuck Norris movies, and you're like, man, that dude had a Uzi. I want to get an Uzi. So end up being like me and buying shit that collects dust in there, but I got an Uzi.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I feel about MP5s. Like,
Yeah.
Man, like,
Yeah.
there's a bunch of SWAT people and stuff in movies that had MP5s. I'm like, that's badass.
I guess it's all the childhood nostalgia for me. Like,
It's a lot of it.
seeing that stuff, and you're like, man, that bad guy had an AK.
The thing of it is, you got to think about if you're buying stuff, and you're already carrying your carry gun, you're not going to change that. Maybe if you buy like an MR920 or something, it's going to be good, but you're not changing it really. So you're getting, stuff that you're not going to carry. It's going to sit in your safe. It's going to collect dust, but you still buy it anyway. Like that's where the obsession part comes in, I guess.
Yeah. If you guys would consider yourself movie guys, what would be the best gun movie that you think you've ever seen?
I would say John Wick. For guns. For me.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's I never thought about John Wick. I don't know, man.
There's a few we had this conversation. I think it was on Tundra Tactical thing or whatever. But Terminator 2.
Oh, that's a good
was
one.
probably my every gun and that's I was talking about the Browning high power 9mm.
Yeah.
I was like, and that's what T1000 carried in that movie, and I was like, man, that's a cool ass gun.
Yeah.
And
there's a lot of cool guns in that movie.
There are a lot. MP5s.
When she goes down to like the bunker and moves all that stuff out of the way and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Dude, there's a lot of cool stuff in there. So that is a good one too. But I think as far as like
John Wick
new stuff for me, of course you got the old ones. You got Die Hard and stuff like that, where it brings like the AUG and the MP5s and all that stuff. Like that's nostalgic stuff. Yeah. But when it comes to not normal, but like new stuff, I would say John Wick is probably up there for gun stuff for me.
Yeah,
because that's what we were talking about. Tundra was he thinks that gun movies are going to go away and they're not going to happen no more.
Yeah, that would suck.
All right, last couple questions, and I'm gonna let you guys go. If you stop YouTube today, what would you want to be remembered by?
Creativity.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, I would. To me, it would be our
personalities.
Our personalities, honestly. Yeah. Like, I mean, we make gun videos and stuff, but we show us in our gun videos. We're not somebody else on camera.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like we get off camera and we're somebody else, or we get on camera and we're somebody else. We are who we are. And I think that comes through in our videos. And I think that's what I want people to see, is that it's not just what people think gun people are like. because there's a stigma for the most part of what what people think gun people are like, and I think you see that not through us.
Yeah, we're the same way whether we're on camera or we're off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing that I would say about you guys' content is it's more natural, and it seems like you guys are just having fun. Like you're talking about guns, but all in all, you're just having fun, and you're real knowledgeable, so it all comes together real well. So definitely appreciate.
I'm not knowledgeable. He's knowledgeable. I just like to shoot things.
The yin and yang,
like my truck bed.
That did not happen. Technically, my truck bed now.
Yeah, true.
Any YouTube channels that you guys watch frequently, and they don't have to be just gun channels. You can be any kind of channels.
I watch all kinds of YouTube.
Yeah. I watch YouTube more than anything.
Y'all want to go with it? Because I got a ton.
Go ahead.
Dude, I watch Mr. Beast. Let's see,
Whistling Diesel.
Yeah, Whistling Diesel, dude. Now that's the thing too. Like I think at one point before I started doing this and before we started going to like events and meeting people and stuff, I probably would have fanboyed out on some people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's Demolition Matt, or there's Iraq veteran guy. But once you become to meet those people and you do this thing, you realize they're just like you. And like we're able to call people like Eric and Chad our friends. We're able to call Brandon Herrera our friend, even though we may not see each other all the time. But when we do, we're just friends talking.
Yeah.
So to see channels I actually like, and it's going to be like everybody likes Demolition Ranch. I like more of the videos that are on the funnier side and not so scientific. Like Duran Thumb's
I love
new stuff. Like he didn't used to be like that. But
Yeah.
now he's coming out of his shell and he's being like funny and does stuff like that. I like that kind of stuff. I like Kerry Trainer just because he's knowledgeable. I don't agree with everything he says, but I really like his channel. Colleen Noir has some good stuff. It depends. I really like his cinematic stuff that he does. I think that's really
good. Yeah, he's really good at that.
Dire Armory puts out some really cool cinematic stuff. They're a smaller channel, but they do like more media type stuff. Like they film for people. So they'll film for Eric and Chad, or they'll film for other people. They do some really cool stuff.
Okay.
Eric and Chad. Let's see who else. There's a ton. Probably not enough for me. I mean,
I'm usually like a smaller YouTube channel kind of guy. Other than like I like more knowledgeable stuff. Like I like watching Ian from Forgotten Weapons.
See, that's what I'm not into.
Yeah,
that's where
I
we
like
differ.
watching Mashako, which if you don't know who that is, he's a blind he's a blind gun owner, and he tells you a lot of stuff about firearms. And for a blind person that actually gets out and shoots, it's actually really, really awesome. And Rob Ski, AK Operators Union, that dude has a ton of knowledge, and he will tell you everything you need to know about an AK. So
I would say these are in my top right here. Demolition Ranch. I love Chris D'Elia. I think he's funny sometimes. James Yeager, Grantham, Johnny B, Whistling Diesel, Your Mom's House. I watch a lot of their podcasts. Your Mom's House podcast and Two Bears, One Cave. I like those guys. Shooting Gallery New England. Donut Operator. I like his vlog channel and his regular channel. Tactical Pineapple. I like him too. TFB TV. Herrera.
Armed Scholar was cool. I like him a lot.
Yeah.
yeah.
Tactical Considerations, Mr. Big Kid, Opie and the Smokies. Just a lot, man. There's tons of them. I go through them every day. That's pretty much all I do. I drive for a living, so not only do we don't do YouTube for a living. We have 40-hour jobs, and when I drive, I pretty much turn YouTube on and let it sit, and I play. And I watch all kinds of stuff. So, I listen to all kinds of stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, one of my favorites is Good Mythical Morning. Just that's not gun related.
Yeah.
Okay.
Podcasts.
I think they're hilarious.
I used to like Joe Rogan when you can get his stuff on YouTube.
Yeah, actually, I stopped listening to him for a while when he went to Spotify, but he's got a few good ones out right now. I was going to tell you about. You should probably check out.
But as far as podcasts and stuff go, man, Tony Marco, him and the Confessionals. That's
that is one of my favorite podcasts.
Let's see, that's just about like conspiracy theories and stuff. Tony Marco, Your Mom's House. I like a lot of the things that are on Your Mom's House. I actually really like Tom Segura and his wife, the one they do, which is actually Your Mom's House podcast. It's really funny. And the funny thing is that a lot of those people, some of those guys that are like in podcasts and stuff, are actually pretty left leaning. Not Tony Marco, but the other ones are. Like Chris D'Elia, they're pretty left leaning.
Yeah,
Tom
I
Segura,
don't.
he's
I used to
left-leaning.
think Chris D'Elia was a lot more funny, but I don't think he's that funny anymore.
I think he's funny when he's with other people.
Yeah, he laughs at himself a lot, and it gets on my nerves.
Yeah. I used to think Bert was really funny, like Bert from Tom and Bert.
Yeah.
I think, man, he gets on my nerves now when he like laughs really loud into the microphone. God, it gets on my nerves.
I know the only podcast I listen to is, and it's at night, and it's when I'm laying in bed. My wife will listen to murder mystery podcasts.
Oh yeah.
And the thing that I tell her all the time, I'm like, you're listening to this, and if you kill me, they're gonna know it. Straight up,
They're gonna know.
She got a pig out there. She got to eat you too.
Probably eat the whole thing, man, bones and all.
Dang, that's probably our plan.
Yep.
All right, last question. Then I'm gonna let you guys go. Do you guys have a unicorn gun?
Like a gun with a horn on it?
Yeah.
So is this the one that we are?
Oh, we were just talking
that
about
we
this.
would want to obtain, or we already own?
Something that you want to obtain.
Okay.
Like something we want to obtain but we can't get right now.
Yeah. Or you could get it, you just haven't gotten it yet.
Yeah. I'm gonna say Barrett.
Yeah, that's what.
Barrett for me, man.
I know what he's gonna say.
Yep, you know exactly because I was
We were
actually
just
talking
talking
about it.
about it.
Yep, a Crink,
There you go.
legit AK-74U. I would love to have one. Man, I would sell my house right now to get one. But yep, AK-74U.
Mine's definitely gonna be like that. Yeah, Barrett for sure.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say, Barrett.
Nice. You guys ever shot the Scar? Scar fans?
Got one in layaway.
Shot one.
I've shot a handful of them, but I actually I have a Scar in layaway right now that I'm making payments on. So hopefully here soon I'll get it out.
Which one you have on layaway?
Scar 16. So I didn't get the 17. I didn't get the 308, but I did get the 5.56 just because a lot of people have been asking me, why'd you get a 16? And, in that pattern,
It was available.
well, yeah, it was available, but ever since I seen one, I seen some guys that when I was overseas that got fielded some Scars, and I was like, man, I want one so bad.
Yeah.
So I did end up getting the new one, the one with the non-reciprocating handles.
Okay.
So the non-reciprocating charging handle. So I was like, you know what? It's not a Belgian made. It's an actual FN USA, but I couldn't pass it up.
There you go.
Yeah, that's my unicorn gun. I want the 17.
Yeah.
That's what I want, but
I think that'll be the next one, and especially in FDE, man, that is a beautiful rifle.
yeah. Well, I'd like to thank you guys for coming on. Definitely enjoyed chilling and hanging out with y'all. Like I said at the beginning, if you're not following these guys on IG or subscribe to their YouTube channel, definitely do that. Anything you guys want to say before we get out of here?
You're getting ready to do our podcast. It'll be on our podcast channel on 7/6 Tuesday podcast. So if you want to tell your guys to go look at that, that's where you'll be.
Yes, sir. Make sure that y'all go check out their podcast channel. Was it 76 Tuesday?
Yep, 7/6 Tuesday podcast.
76 Tuesday podcast. Make sure y'all check that out. I'll be on there, and we'll holler at you guys in the next one. Stay blessed. Stay strapped.